Welcome once again to my journey of creating a profitable business within 100 days. So today's session, I want to talk about customer journey map for a typical small business. The reason that I created this is that you want to start to figure out what are the touch points for your customers so you can get a little bit more granular in how you can ensure that you stay top of mind. Previously, I showed you about empathy maps. One of the first things you should do. This is also should be done very early in the journey as you're mapping out websites, touch points, all those other things. So the majority of this is based on Joey Coleman's Never Lose a Customer, but we've added an extra A, which is awareness. So he talks about the 8 steps, but you actually have to find the customers first. So that's awareness first. So these are the 9 steps. And then I'm going to go through this briefly with you so that you get an understanding of the thinking. In part 2, we'll show you then how to turn this into a visual diagram. I'm really not much a visual person, and I actually need to see the pictures. I can't actually think of them myself, but that's a whole nother thing. So let's go through this. So when you actually do this, you actually create a virtual client engagement cycle, which becomes a bit of a positive loop. But the first thing is obviously awareness. Increased brand visibility, recognition, etc. So if you're watching this video, perhaps you've then actually seen something of what I do and what I've created, and therefore that is the first part in there. So this could be anything. You can create this and then make up and change what's relevant for your industry. So for you, you might be speaking, or you could be at trade shows, networking, doesn't really matter. But the first thing here got here is just several forms of ways that we can increase our visibility. And then so we've got inputs and outputs. So an input is you do something, and then the output is it leads to this. Then you look at the tools. What are the tools that you're going to need to augment and actually facilitate the things that you're doing? And then finally, what's the usage as well? So when you go through that for every single 9 steps, and I'll go through it quite quickly, you're able to then start to plan which one of those things you're going to use. So at the moment, when we're not quite ready yet to do any Google ads or paid ads, but we're quite close to potentially producing content that we can then share on socials automatically. So something like Hootsuite, HubSpot, Canva, several of those kind of help with that. And then let's move on to the second one. I won't go through all 9. I'm just going to give you a taste of the methodology. So the next one is at the access, where access means that they are in touch with what you offer. So they're actually either getting a quote from you or a lead magnet or a product demo. And they've seen a testimonial. They've had a free trial. So they've actually got to the point where they're assessing whether you can solve their problem. Outputs on that is that if you have very clear and concise information on your quotes or your website, they can then start to see that you can solve that problem, leads to obviously higher conversion rates, etc., etc. So what are the tools for there? Potentially Zoom, Go High Level, which is what we're going to use to build our website. This is obviously booking in meetings, chatbots, email newsletters, all those kind of things. And then what are they used for? And then you just keep going down the process. So it's all the same. It's what is the A, what are the inputs, what are the outputs, what are the tools, what are the usage. And so for all 9 of those, you tend to go down there. So for example, SendSpark is a one-to-one video recording, helps you create personal videos for people. So this is at the point where they've engaged you, could do GIFs, handwritten cards. You might just do nothing. You might just send an email or a phone call. Doesn't really matter. The point isn't to actually settle on all of these tools just yet. The idea is to understand at each of the 9 points of the 9 A's, you have an understanding of what the inputs, what the outputs, what are the tools, what are the usage, and you can then start to work out which of those ones are the most important and put some processes, systems, and software in place that allows you to ensure that you are working on the 9 stages of the customer journey. So I'll go through them just briefly. Awareness, assessment. They admit that they've got a problem and they're actually happy for you to solve that problem. They think you can do that. Affirm if you can surprise and delight them between them actually purchasing and starting. Sometimes that's immediate, but not always. Activate, they start using it. They get really comfortable with you. They potentially even finish something. So sometimes your customer journey is quite short. They buy something, they use it immediately, they're done. Other times it's a work in progress. They adopt. By adopt, I mean they sort of use your language and your methodology, and they really come to understand that how you solve their problem is something that they love. And then finally, advocacy, that they are willing to do testimonials, recommendations, and again, you can set up a whole process for that and tools. So I hope you found this first part of the customer journey map useful. And in the next video, I'll show you how we then visualize this map. Thanks for watching.